Hey all, Latrell here. So I noticed that I have some new subscribers and I wanted to come on here and do kind of a little Q&A to get to know me a little bit better. But I want to say thank you to everyone who has subscribed, everyone who watched the video, likes the video, comments. I really appreciate that. So thank you. Here are the questions right here. And the first question is, what is your favorite genre to write in and why? So my favorite genre to write in is horror. Why? Because I feel like there's no holds barred when it comes to writing in horror. You can do pretty much anything that's outrageous and it'll just stick because it's horror, and horror is a very out there genre and I love it. Next question. Where do you get your information or ideas for your books? So I can find ideas from pretty much anything. A lot of my ideas come from current events. Some of it comes from my emotions. It just really depends. And I can also get ideas from short prompts. So it comes from a variety of places. I usually like writing about the stuff where I get the ideas from current events and ideas from my experiences and my emotions, because I feel more attached to those. Next question. How long does it take you to write a book? So for me, it can take between a month to 2 years. And that is speaking from experience. I've written books, usually my shorter books are written in a month or 2 or 3. And then I have Coryville, which took me about 2 years to write because I was doing it off and on. Same thing with Rose Manor. It took about 3 years. I was doing it off and on. So it just really depends on if you have the inspiration and if you have everything ready for that story. It can take years. I know some people, I've heard of some people taking 10 years to write a book, so it just really depends. All right. How are you able to release several books in a year? Well, because I already had them written. I actually had Coryville Part 1 and Coryville Part 2, which is In Sheep's Clothing, which comes out July 19th. Those were finished at the same time. I was doing them at the same time, so they've been done since early last year, and I didn't want to release them too close together, so I just said I'll wait a year. I'm currently in the process of writing Part 3 and 4 at the same time. But yeah, I had a lot of them already done. Like I said before, the shorter books don't take that long for me to write, so I can have maybe 2 or 3 of them done at the same time and just ready to go. I decide when I want to release it. So that's how I've been able to have released several books at the same time. Well, release several books in the same year. Next year might look a little different because I don't know how things are going to go next year. I only truly have one book completed right now that's going to go into editing, and then yeah, I'm still working on some stuff, so we'll see if I can get the stuff done. Alright, next question. What have you found most challenging in writing paranormal romance? The romance part, because I am romance deprived, and for me right now it's just fantasy. So last author question. Can you share a little bit about your current work? So as I said before, I have finished writing a story. That story is going to be a part of it's going to be a 3-part series so far. I already have Part 2 and Part 3 planned and what's going to happen. I have the characters, everything in my notebook. I'm trying to be a planner now instead of a pantser. So yeah, I have that currently, and it is based on current events, and those current events have to do with abortion, not so much abortion, but actually pregnancy and the decline of the birth rate. So it's a domino effect. But yeah, I'll share more about that in the coming months. I'm really excited about it. I'm already working on promos and everything for them, but I'm really excited about this series. So let's dive a little bit into the personal questions now. These won't be too personal, so yeah, I'm not gonna get too personal right now. First question: what did you want to be when you grew up? So I was between three things. It was a doctor, a teacher, and a writer. So I'm already 1 out of 3, and I'm knocking off doctor because I can't stand. Being a horror author for me is weird because I can't stand the sight of blood and gore and stuff like that, but I love horror. I'm not a gory horror person. I like paranormal, supernatural stuff like that mainly. But yeah, writer I'm currently working on. Hopefully in the next coming years that can be my full-time thing because I love writing. I've always loved writing since I was a kid. Being a teacher, I mean, I was a substitute teacher at one point, and I'm part of the training committee at my job, so can I knock that off too? 2 out of 3? Next question. What's your favorite food? Sushi and seafood. I'm from Miami. Of course, how can it not be seafood? So, yeah, they kind of go together because you can use seafood and sushi. Next question. Have you ever been on a sports team? Yes, and I hated it because I'm not a sports person. I used to play basketball for my local park, and I was terrible at it. They chose me because I was tall, but sports is not my thing. Only sport I will play or like is bowling. That's it. Okay, next question is, who is your favorite musician? What is your favorite song of theirs? And what is your favorite song overall? If you don't already know who my favorite musician is, you haven't been following me for a while, but that's okay. That's okay. Janelle Monáe is my favorite musician. She's been my favorite since probably 2010. Wow, 14 years. That's crazy. I actually met her twice, back in 2011, which is a signed picture. If you go to my office tour video, that was the first time I met her, and that was 2011. It was a birthday gift from my mom. Second time I met her was back in 2018 at the House of Blues in Orlando, and that was at, what is that called? Disney Springs. So yeah, that second time was, I think, more special. I got to hug her, and I just told her, listen, you have been such an inspiration to me, more than you will ever know, and she really has. I think her as a musician and seeing another black woman that was so into science fiction, it really made me feel less weird. My favorite song of hers is Many Moons, which came off her second album, which people think is her first album, but it's actually not. But her second album, which is called Metropolis. And yeah, it's a really good song, and I love the video as well. Now, my favorite song ever is actually by Shannon, and it's called Let the Music Play. Yes, here's a little known fact about me. I kind of like disco. Even though I was born in the 80s, the late 80s, I love me some disco. Share something your readers don't know about you. Now, if you've been watching my videos, or if you've been on any of my social media platforms and seen my videos, you will notice that something about a lot of my videos changes constantly. And if you don't notice, I'll let you know. I have like 10 plus pairs of glasses, and I wear them all for different outfits. As you can see, because I'm wearing red, I'm wearing my red pair. The other day I had on my pink, black and white one. So yeah, it really depends on the outfit I wear for the day. I did that on purpose. I'm a little bit quirky, so I wanted my glasses to match my personality plus my outfit. So 10 plus pairs of glasses. It's probably 15. Yeah, it's a problem, but that's okay. Now it's time for the weird or unusual questions. First question, what font do you write in? Do you care, or is it a default? So yes, I care about the font I write in, because the default font that Microsoft Word chooses, I hate them. I don't like Times New Roman, so I have chosen to write in Crimson Pro, and I actually made that the default because the other choices, they hurt my eyes, or just they didn't work for me. I used to write in, I think it's Sata, something like that. It has a lot of fonts attached to it, but I used to write in that until I downloaded Crimson Pro. So that's what I've been using. That's what I use for my books on the inside. And yeah, it works for me. Next question. What is a word that makes you feral? So I'm going to bring this a little bit back to reading and writing. I cannot stand the word cock. I hope I can say that on here. I really hate that word. Whenever I'm reading a romance or erotica and they say cock, I'm out of it. I can't do it anymore. I have to pause and just be like, why? Use the other word, the D word. Use that word. I like that word. Next weird or unusual question. Do you believe in ghosts? Absolutely. Absolutely. I've even had some encounters. How can you be a horror writer and not believe in that? But that's just me. That's how I feel. But yes, definitely believe in ghosts. I won't talk about my encounters, but I had a couple. So, and my mom had one as well. So, next question. What is a subject matter that's difficult to write about? For me, it has to anything that has to do with harming children. There was a scene that I wrote in Karma and other shit, and one of the stories, the first story actually, Neighborly Love, where there was a child that was harmed, and I was writing it, I was fine, and then when I wrote it back, I started crying. So it was the racism part on top of the children part that really did it for me. And what's something that's easy to write about? Revenge. Last weird or unusual question. What's your thoughts on the Oxford comma? Love it. I always use it. I think everyone should use it. My sister and I actually got into a little argument in a hotel because I saw a sign and it didn't have the Oxford comma. So her and I were going back and forth about it, and yeah, I'm going to use it. I'm sorry. Can't tell me not to. So that will do it for today's video. I really enjoyed answering some questions. I'm going to try and do this again later in the year. If you have any questions for me, feel free to put it in the comments and I'll add it to the question list. But I know the videos aren't coming as much. That's the reason behind that is because I've moved, so I really wasn't in that headspace to make videos, but I'm trying to make more videos, so hopefully there'll be more, at least maybe 1 or 2 videos a week. Don't hold me to that because that's not guaranteed. If you want to know more about my books, feel free to check out my website at LatrellRMorris.com. I also started a blog, and you can check it out at LatrellTalks.com. I'm going to get more stuff added there. Just give me a little bit. I already have a subject list of what I'm going to talk about, so it just takes a little bit for me to sit down and write it because I've been very busy, and my sister just left on Saturday afternoon, so I'm still trying to get things together. My newsletter to get updates on my books, on anything that has to do with my website, my author blog, which is actually on my official website. And yeah, other than that, I hope everyone has a good rest of your week. My birthday is coming up. It's on the 30th of May, so yay. I gotta find out what I'm gonna do, but I'll see you all later. Bye.